Hello friends and welcome. In this tutorial, you are going to learn the best way to solve this kind of equation. We call this kind of equation that involves the radical sign or root. We call it radical or SURDS equation. Now, in this tutorial, you're going to learn how best to solve this. And remember, to solve radical equation requires you to remove the radical sign, these signs. And in this case, this sign is what we call the square root. Okay, this is square root. And to remove the square root, we always use what? Square. I hope this is clear. Now, to answer this question, what do you think we should do? What we need to do is, let's reduce this. Let's use a letter to reduce this. In that case, we can say, let A equal 4 minus x. That's this radicand. We call the value inside the radical sign. This is the radical sign. We call it the radicand. If you want to learn more about radicals, I will leave the link in the comment. So we now say let also be the value inside this, which is this radicand. Then we can also say let C be 14 plus 2x. Still see that? It's going to reduce the work for us. So in that case, we are going to, instead of writing this, we are going to write square root of A minus square root of B is equal to square root of C. Did you see that? So what do you do again? Removing the radical sign is the next. And because it's square root, we are going to square. So to square, you remember this is the left side of the equation and this is the right side. So how do you square? You are going to now have square root of A minus B all raised to power 2 is equal to square root of C all raised to power 2. Please don't practice this. Most students will do it this way. Square this and this way, which is equal to this. Please, this is wrong. You are squaring the left side together and the right side. You don't split it. Whatever value you have here is going to be automatically different from what you will get here. I hope it's clear. So don't practice this. So in that case, we are going to have, using this now, let's remind ourselves of our rule. In our algebra, when you have this, to expand it, you have A squared, use 2 to multiply the two values inside, then square your B. Did you see that? So in that case, let's apply this here. So it's going to give us square root of A raised to power 2, following this, okay, minus 2, we multiply square root of A and also multiply square root of B. Then plus square root of B will be raised to the power of 2 is equal to, this square we cancel the square root is equal to C. So what do you do next? This square we cancel the square root, we have A minus. Now remember your rule of radical. The radicands are different but they are multiplying. But the indexes here are the same. So when you have such, if you have this multiplying itself, what you do is you take one radical sign and put the two values inside. So if you apply it here, you are going to have 2 root AB plus this we cancel this, we have B is equal to C. Did you see that? So what do you think you should do here? The next thing to do is, we are going to now have, at this point you can choose to return your value, okay, for easy simplification. So remember your A is 4 minus Y minus 2 in bracket root. What is our A? Our A is 4 minus X. And they are multiplying each other. So it's multiplying what again? Our B is 6 plus X. Did you see that? Okay, plus our B is what? What's our B? Our B is, from what you have here, our B is 6 plus X. Then plus is equal to, what is our C? Our 6, 14 plus 2x. So let's simplify. So this is going to give us 4 minus x, this, plus, we are collecting the ones that are the same, minus 2 roots. Let's expand this, okay? What we have there is 4 minus x is multiplying 6 plus x. Use 4 to multiply this, it gives you 24. Use 4 to multiply, you have 4x. Multiply this way, you have negative 6x. Multiply again, you have negative x squared. So this is going to give us 24 negative 2x minus x squared. Did you see that? So what we are going to have here is 24 minus 2x minus x squared. Okay? Then is equal to 14 plus 2x. Did you see that? Bring this down. Then plus 6 plus x. Return this, we have this is equal to this. So what do you do again? You keep collecting like terms. And in that case, you are going to have this will give us 4 plus this will give us 10. So we have 10. Negative x plus x is gone, is 0. So it's gone. And we are left with negative 2 root 24 minus 2x negative x squared is equal to 14 plus 2x. You see, we are reducing it now. So what do you do next? At this point, please, these two cannot be subtracted. They are not the same terms. This is a constant, and this 2 is serving as a coefficient to this radical value. So you cannot subtract this. Please take notes, okay? They are unlike to what? Terms. So in that case, what we do, let's still collect like terms. We can now have negative 2 root 24 minus 2x minus x squared is equal to 14 plus 2x. This 10 is positive. To remove it, you subtract from both sides. So you subtract 10 here and also subtract 10. Okay? So in that case, we are having, when you subtract, it's gone. Then when you now have 14 minus 10, did you see that? So we're going to have negative 2 root 24 minus 2x minus x squared is 14 minus this will give us 4 plus 2x. You see, we are reducing the roots. From 3, we have gotten 1. So let's keep reducing it again. What do you think we should do? Remember, we said this is a coefficient. So because it's a coefficient, we are going to remove it. And to remove coefficients, you divide. So we're going to divide this by negative 2, divide this by negative 2, and divide this by negative 2. So this will cancel, and we are left with square root of 24 minus 2x minus x squared is equal to, when 4 is divided by this, we have negative 2, divide this, we have negative x. Did you see what we've gotten? So what do you do again? It has landed us again to square roots. So we're going to square both sides. You square the whole of this side. This will cancel this. We have 24 minus 2x minus x squared is equal to, we are going to expand this, okay? So let's quickly do it here. We are having negative 2 negative x and negative 2 negative x. So let's expand. So negative 2 multiplies this will give us 4. And when you use it here, it gives you positive 2x. Use this here, it gives you positive 2x. And use it here, it gives you positive x squared. So if you gather it, you have 4 plus 4x plus x squared. Did you see that? So this is going to give us 4 plus 4x plus x squared. So what do you think? You see, you are getting an equation we call quadratic, because if you look at this, you have the same variable and the highest power of these variables is what? 2. So in that case, we say it is quadratic equation. So to make it look more beautiful as a quadratic equation, what you do is those ones with the highest power of x should come first. So here we're going to have negative x squared. Okay, remember this is positive, so to remove it, to take this another position, is going to be negative. So you are subtracting negative x squared. I hope it's cleared. Then we have negative 2x. This one is positive. Subtract from both sides is equal to, okay? So this is positive 24. And this one is positive. So we're going to subtract. So we have negative 24. Everything is equal to 0. I hope this is cleared. These ones that are the right side change position. And this 4 changed position. From being at the right, it became negative 4 at the left. This one became negative 4x, and this one became negative x squared. I hope this is clear. So if you simplify this now, you see what we have. We are going to now have, so this is going to give us, if you add this, remember the coefficients are 1, so we have negative 2x squared. This will give us negative 6x, and this will give us 20 is equal to 0. So you get the highest common factor here. The highest here is negative is 2, but most students don't like working with negative, so we're going to divide by negative sign, true or true. So in that case, we are dividing each term here by negative 2. So divide this by negative 2, so that this will give us x squared. Remember, negative divided by negative is positive, and if it's divided by positive, it's negative. So here we're going to have positive 3x. This will give us negative 10, and when you divide this is 0. So you see we've gotten a complete quadratic equation. So there are many ways you can solve this, but in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use the factoring method. So what you do by factoring is, what two numbers can you multiply since the coefficient is 1 for x squared? So you get two factors of 10 that when you multiply, it gives you negative 10. And when you add them, it gives you positive 3. So those two factors are 5 and negative 2. Okay, multiply this, you get this. And when you add these two, it gives you this. So in that case, we are going to have, this is going to give us, because it's x squared, we are going to open two brackets for x and put in this value. Here is positive 5. Did you see? And this one is negative 2. Okay, and everything is equal to 0. So when you have these two expressions to be equal to 0, it means that this is equal to 0. And in that case, to get your x, you subtract 5 from both sides to have x is equal to negative 5, or x minus 2 is 0. You add 2 to get x here. So when you add 2 here, x will give you 2. Now, since we've gotten the values of x, this is a radical equation. So you have to know which of these values of x really satisfies what you have here. So let's do a check. Now, in that check, we're going to have, so in this check, we're going to put in, when x is 2 into this. Okay, the first value we got is 5. Let's check for when x is 2. Whichever one you start with is okay. So put in, we have square root of 4 minus 2 minus square root of 6 minus, this is plus minus 2. And for the right side, we have square root of 14 plus 2 is multiplying minus 2. When you subtract this, you have 2. This will give us 4. So we have this is equal to, this will give us negative 4 minus this will give us, we have x as 2 and x as 2. So this is giving us 8. Okay, so we have square root of 8 is equal to, if you multiply this, it gives you 4 plus this will give you 18. So in that case, what do? This has a perfect square in it. So the perfect square is 4, and 4 times 2 will give you 8. So this is this. And this one has a perfect square, which is 9. Okay, so in that case, we have square root of 2 minus square root of 4 is 2. So we have 2 root 2. Is it equal to, square root of 9 is 3 root 2. Now, when you subtract these two, what do you think should be your result? Remember, the coefficient is 1, and 1 minus 2 will give us negative root 2. Whereas this one is giving us 3 root 2. So you see, they are not the same. In that case, you say that x equal to 2 is not a solution. So what it means is that the value of x here will be negative 5. So let's check in conclusion. Put negative 5 where we have 4 minus negative 5 minus square root of 6 plus negative 5. Is it equal to square root of, if you put negative 5 here, it gives you 10, and negative 10, and 14 minus 10 will give us, will give us 4. Okay, so this is going to give us square root of, this is going to give us 9, and if you check this, you have 1. Is it equal to square root of 4 is 2? This will give you 3 minus square root of this is 1. Is it equal to 2? If you subtract this is 2, and if you have this 2, so you see the both are the same, and it means that the value of x is negative 5. And I hope this really answered a lot for you. Please let's know how much helpful it is in the comment section. It encourages us to do more. And give this tutorial a thumbs up, share with your friends. I will see you in our next class.